Good Holy and magandang Jensen. I am Lendy Joy Cañete Awe, and for today's video, we will be discussing one of the known and famous sports game in the world, which is the volleyball. I will be explaining to you on how to play the ball and the play at the net in volleyball, which includes the service, playing the ball, and play at the net. So without further ado, let's get started. Volleyball is a game played by two teams, usually of 6 players on a side, in which the players use their hands to bat the ball back and forth over a high net, trying to make the ball touch the court within the opponent's playing area before it can be returned. Let's talk about serving. In serving, as soon as the player is ready to play, the referee will give whistle and signal for service, and the server has 5 seconds in which to serve. The player must hit the ball with one hand or an arm. It is an act of putting the ball into play by the right back row player. The ball must be thrown in the air or released before being hit. Let's talk about service attempt. If the ball has been released during the serving action and the player did not hit it to throw in the opponent's court, it is considered to be a service attempt. Let's talk about service screen. Lastly, in serving, if a player in serving team tries to wave his or her arms, jumps or moves around or trying to prevent the receiving team players from seeing the served ball, which leads the opponents to be distracted, is considered as screening and the team will losing the score. The ball is in when it lands on the floor of the playing court, including the boundary lines. If any part of the ball touches any part of a line, it is considered to be in. The ball is out when it lands without touching the court or lines, or if it touches the ceiling or an object outside the court, or if it touches any part of the net outside the vertical side markers. A ball which touches an antenna or which would have touched an antenna had it extended to the ceiling, it also considered to be out, as is a ball which crosses completely underneath the net. Let's go now and playing the ball. A rally begins and ends with a referee's whistle. The ball is in play from the instant the ball is hit on service, and is out of play as soon as the ball lands or a fault is committed. Let's talk about playing faults. Any action contrary to the rules is considered as playing fault. The consequence of a fault is the loss of the rally. If 2 or more fault is committed successively, only the first one is counted. If 2 faults are committed by opponent and exactly at the same time, double fault is called and the rally must be replayed. Let's talk about team hits. Every team is allowed a maximum of 3 hits in order to return the ball over the net. If the team hit the ball more than the maximum hit, it is considered as fault. Let's talk about assisted hit. A player cannot take support from any object or person, including a teammate, in order to reach the ball. This rule applies only to the playing area. Let's talk about simultaneous contact. When 2 opponents touch the ball over the net at exactly at the same time, this is called simultaneously. If the ball stays in play, the team receiving the ball after such a contact is entitled to 3 more touches. Let's talk about ball contact. The ball may be touched by any part of the body. Recent rule changes wherein player now is allowed having contact with the feet and there is no fault committed if a player kicks the ball deliberately and attempts to play the ball. Now, let us proceed in the play at the net. A player is allowed to penetrate under the net into their opponent's space as long as there is no interference with their play, but your foot must not step completely onto their court. Let's talk about player touching a net. In a rally, when a player touches a net when he tries to reach, spike, or block a ball before it lands is considered as fault. But if the ball lands first before the player touches the net, it is considered as no fault. Let's talk about block attempt. A block is when the player reaches over the net and contacts the ball coming from the other team. If the blocker reaches over the net but does not touch the ball, it is called as block attempt. Let's talk about back row attack. A back row attack occurs when one of the 3 back players attack the ball and contacts it at the top of the net. Let's talk about blocking. Blocking is the action made by players standing close to the net who try to intercept the ball coming from the opponent's side by placing their hands or arms over the top of the net. Lastly, let's talk about completed block. It is when a blocker actually touches the ball during the blocking action.